First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer.
How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk. Right now I'm at Seminole Casino in Florida, getting ready to play some poker at the tables. But I'm like 6 on the list, so I got a little time, and I wanted to do a quick intro for a video that I'm going to have out later today. The video is important. It talks about how we need to defend corrections, and I'm not talking about a myopic defense. I'm talking about a higher level universal defense. And it started because I was at this casino on Friday, so today is Sunday, and when people found out I worked in corrections, I was getting attacked by all sides. Inmates don't deserve nothing. Inmates don't get enough. I mean, just very, very limited in regards to what the public knows and what I was able to provide. And I promise you, at that table, I did get my thoughts out there, and I was able to give them a better understanding of where we're at on a more consistent level. Now, whether they take that with them when they leave, I don't know, because we do have a lot of stubborn people. But again, being at that table, I felt pretty comfortable defending our position, but I had to do it from a higher level. I couldn't defend it myopically. It had to go higher, and then I had to look down. And I think that's what this discussion is going to be about today. How to defend the system from a higher level down. That's the key. I stand by for our sponsors. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to defend our system. Now, guys, Tier Talks for you brave men and women that work in corrections. So please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell is going to notify you every time I post a video. And wish me good luck, because I'm going to be playing some poker. I stand by for our sponsors.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsor. So anyway, Friday I'm at a poker table playing 2-2 limit. Not the most risky of games, but just something just to play, build some dialogue, kill time, if you will. Usually I break about even, so just to have fun. Table was full of people, TV was playing. Now in the background, the TV was playing the news, and it started talking about what the DOJ is doing, kind of pushing forward with the capital sentencing now, supposedly going to have 5 coming up in December. And that opens up a bit of a dialogue at our table, especially from the gentleman on my left and the woman in front of me. Now, the gentleman on my left, I would say, is an extreme right person who obviously believes in capital sentencing, but that wasn't our discussion. He believes that inmates have too much. The lady in front of me, very left, and she believes the inmates don't get enough. So they start going back and forth, and I'm just listening. I don't really get involved at this point. I'm just trying to look for their justifications and just to see how misled they are, and they are. Trust and believe. So I go to the gentleman on my left, and I said, what is it that you believe that they have that they shouldn't have? You're saying they have so much. What is it that you believe they have that we should not let them have? So he names like television, cable TV, bunch of items. Some stuff inmates do have, some stuff they don't. So I corrected him on that. Like, I don't know any inmates that would have these items, but for the most part, I do know inmates that have these items. But why do you think that's such a bad thing? And he goes into this primitive view. You know, when they're there, they're strictly to be punished, locked behind the wall, shouldn't be able to move, all this other stuff. And I told him, well, that's not really realistic right now. That's not how the system is working. So, with that said, I could tell you why inmates are allowed items, certain items. And again, privileges, not rights, because privileges is where we maintain control. One thing is that you want to keep inmates busy. So, you don't want them idle. You want them to be doing things, because if they're idle, their mind starts going into thinking of things that they shouldn't be doing. So you want to keep their minds active. You want to keep them motivated. That's one thing. Second thing is, people are more motivated by a loss than a gain. So if they have nothing to lose, we have no way to maintain leverage. And remember, most of the time, we're looking for compliance. We're not looking to force compliance. We're looking for compliance. So inmates have to have stuff they can lose. Misconception. Lifers have nothing they can lose. That's not true. Lifers have a life behind the wall that they've adjusted to, that staff can utilize to control their compliance. So for some people that think that lifers have nothing to lose, that's the argument I'm going to go ahead and disagree with, and then present what I just presented. So of course we're going back and forth, but it gets to a point where he can't really justify his position anymore. And I think they're starting to think like, wow, this guy must be very familiar with the system. Then I go to the lady in front of me, and I said, now you say inmates don't get enough, you know, and that's not the case either. They get what they need. It may not always be what they want, but they get what they need. I know a lot of dedicated staff that are behind that wall doing what they got to do to get those inmates rehabilitated, get those inmates to think more positive and really adjust to society in a positive way. But unfortunately, there are some that just won't. There are some that just won't. Staff doesn't give up. They keep on trying. But to sit there and say that they don't get enough, I disagree. Inmates may not get what they want, but behind the wall, they get what they need. That's the key. And staff could bring the horse to water, but doesn't mean they're going to drink it. But again, I believe that people can change now because I see the staff that does it. I see their motivation. Even when everybody else thinks that they're not going to be able to change anybody, staff come in and they could be very, very effective. Very effective. But either way, I saw these two extremes, both misinformed, and I used a way to kind of just edge in, listen to their justification, and then use that justification to be the foundation of my argument. I don't know what happened at the end, you know, whether they went home and they really thought differently, or whether the conversation happened again later date and they just went back with their old thoughts. But either way, here I was. They didn't know what I did. And I started talking about my opinion. Now, eventually, the lady did ask, do you work in the system? And I said, yes, I work in the system. I don't just work in the system, I believe in the system. So I'm going to be very passionate in my defense, and not to have a back and forth, but a lot of people from the outside like to judge what we do without really knowing. And that's how this all starts to spread. So now you're at a table now where there is someone that's familiar a little bit with the system and telling you this is how the system works. So hopefully you take what I say into account, because if you don't, then you'll continue with these myths and misconceptions of the profession. So here I am, someone that works in the profession, telling you this is what we do and this is why we do it. If ever you were going to listen to somebody, you should listen to me at this table. I'm not an outsider to this profession. I'm an insider. As always, guys, the show is Tear Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post a video. Stay safe.